guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I'm really yelling. Sorry. Okay. Hey guys, welcome. I'm still yelling. Okay guys, welcome. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Septembre love. I'm still yelling, but whatever. You name me, you gotta hear me. So today I'm gonna do a quick story time, and I feel like this story is super interesting. Very interesting to say the least. So before I get into my story, I want to tell you guys to please head over to my blog at some point at septembrelove.wordpress.com. SEPTEMBRE love.wordpress.com. Check out my blogs that I have there. And if you are interested, comment, follow that. And yeah, follow me on Instagram as well, Septembre Love. And I hope to connect with you guys there. Okay, so this story is very interesting, and I'm pretty sure you're looking at the title and what is this about? What are you saying? It's supposed to be a story from back in the day. No, it's not. So, oh my gosh. Crazy story, okay? So I'm gonna take you guys on a little journey, try and do as quick as I can, because I ramble. I'm a rambler. I'm doing it right now. What? Okay, focus. So basically, everyone in quarantine pretty much has been
during quarantine was working out, trying new things, hiking, doing different things during this time, to get your body right or whatever.
So my family and I have been doing our thing before quarantine, but we were going extra hard during quarantine because we had the time. So my mom and I would typically do our stuff together. Walks and runs we would do together in the mornings. So one morning we woke up about 8 o'clock and we're okay, let's go for a walk. She's yeah, I'm down to go for the walk today, but I need to be back home by 10:30 because I have a meeting. I have a Zoom meeting. Zoom meetings have been annoying during this time. What's a Zoom meeting? Can you just... And half the time the Zoom meetings are nothing important. Text me. Text it. Send it in an email. Anyways, she had a Zoom meeting. She had a Zoom meeting at 10:30. So our walk is half an hour. It's 30 minutes, okay? 30-minute walk / run, whatever, okay? We go on the same trail every single morning, whatever. So this particular morning, we left the house at 9 o'clock. Now, my mom decided, now this is not like her. My mom decided, you know what? I'm going to leave my phone at home. She has two phones. She had two phones. She just got a new one. And then she had the old one. So her old phone had all of her music on it. So she's I want my phone for my music, whatever. I didn't transfer my music over. So let me just bring my old phone. So she has a phone that she cannot call on, okay? So my mom has her phone with her music. I have my phone, right? I don't have my key. She has the key. We're gonna be together. Meh, no big deal. Everyone understands that. So we're walking, trotting along with our headphones on, whatever. There's a guy that drives by us. He looks so weird, guys. Weird looking man. And he was in this van. And he just slowed down, almost stopped beside us. And we're what? That was weird, but whatever. So we kept walking. So my brother called me. So my brother's talking on the phone, whatever. We're talking. My mom's still listening to her music. And our walk is exactly half an hour. I mentioned it before. We left the house at 9. She has to be back home for her meeting at 10:30. So we're going to be home by 9:30. So she has a whole hour before her meeting. She can freshen up, get herself together, collect her thoughts. It was an important meeting, so I understand. Okay. I also was teaching because this was June. Yeah, so I was teaching. I had to come back home and teach my kids online. So it wasn't I was trying to be out yeah, let's go 80,000 miles. I was okay, cool. We're going to keep it the same as we always do, whatever, okay? Anyways, so we're walking along our path. We passed that weird man. So, okay, that's creepy. And then we get to we're about to end our walk. So I'm still talking to my brother on the phone. She's still listening to her music. And, so I'm you know what, Mom, I'm going to jog up ahead because I need to get a jog in, a little run, a little, get my heart rate up. And she's okay, cool. So I'm jogging, talking to my brother still, jogging. I turn the corner. At this time, it's about like 9:20, okay? So I turned the corner because I'm like, you know what? Let me try and like run the last little bit. But I didn't want to go too far because I know my mom is not gonna run. So I'm like, I turned the corner and I looked back and I was waiting for her. So I was just kind of jogging on the spot. So I'm waiting there and I'm like, where's mom? Like, it's taking so long. So just there jogging on the spot, waiting. My brother and I are still talking. I'm facing the area where she should be, like turning the corner. And I remember as I was turning the corner, there was a black lady that passed me and she has dreads. My mom also has dreads too. So because she has dreads, my mom loves to talk to people about their hair and so I'm like, maybe she's talking to that lady. But then I also passed this guy, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a white guy. And this was a couple of days after George Floyd was murdered, right? So there was just a lot of uneasiness and tension in the air, tension in my body. Like, it was a very rough week, whatever. So like, I was just like, you know, like just whatever. So that probably sounds so crazy. So I remember passing that guy. He's probably like a young guy, whatever. But the street was busy. Like, it was a main street. People were getting off the bus. That lady drove past or ran past me. She's like, you go, girl, do your thing. Da, da, da. I'm like, thank you, whatever. Turned the corner, waiting for mom. So like, I'm honestly jogging the spot for like a minute. I'm like, what is she doing? She's talking to this lady still. So I said, you know, let me walk back or run back. So I run back to the spot where my mom was. She's not there. So I'm like, what? So I'm like, bro, I'm on the phone with my brother. I'm like, bro, like, where's my headset? Like, where? Like, I don't see where mom is. He's like, what do you mean you don't know where mom is? I'm like, she was literally behind me. I don't know where she is. Like, that's so weird. Like, I didn't go that far. Like, I don't run that far from her. Like, she was just about to turn the corner as well. So I'm like, that's why I assumed she stopped to talk to this lady, because why else would she have not turned the corner by now? It's been a minute. So keep in mind, we left the house at 9, supposed to get home by 9:30. It is about 9:20. 9:20 is when time I turned around to look for her. Oh, he's like, what do you mean you know where mom is? I'm like, I literally do not see her. So I'm like getting a little bit nervous, but I'm like, you know what? Don't freak out. Like, don't freak out. Like, everything's fine. Okay. So I'm looking at the street and now the street is empty, like ghost town. I just ran off the street. It was busy. People, yeah, bus, like running, jogging. Like, now I go, nobody is on the street. I see 2 girls. I lied. There's 2 girls at the bus stop across the street. I'm like, okay, like what? So I'm like, this is really weird. So I can panic fast. So I'm like,
oh my gosh, like, where's my mom? Like, where's, no, you know what, calm down. She's fine. She probably, you know what?
Because there's a shortcut. They probably took the shortcut. So I went down the shortcut, guys. Okay. And I'm still running. My mom is not running at all. She doesn't run. She does her little brisk walk. That's as much as you're gonna get from her. So I'm running. So I'm like, you know, wherever she is, because it's not a big neighborhood, or the area we're running, it's not big. And the streets are very short. So wherever she is, if I'm running, I'm going to catch her. Like, I'm going to see her, right? So I'm running. No side, not even her little heel back, not even a dread flapping in the wind. I don't see her at all. My eyes are peeled back. Like, guys, when I tell you, I was like, okay, so this is weird. So I'm starting to panic. So I'm like, Marcus, I'm like, I don't know where mom is. Like, this doesn't make sense. Because I'm running. You're walking. That is like, you couldn't have gotten that far. Like, there's no way you could have gotten that far in that time. Okay. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I'm like circling the area. I'm running. And now I'm freaking out because I'm like, I instantly remember the man from the morning, the man from when we first started walking. I'm like, yo, that guy in the van, like, what if, and this is my honest thoughts, I'm like, what if he dashed my mom in the van and she didn't realize because she had her music on, and I can't call her because she doesn't have her phone that can actually be called. How am I going to reach her? So I would do anything. I can call I don't know. Like, I'm like, what am I going to do? She doesn't have her actual phone. I don't have a key. She has a key. What is happening? I'm like, my mom would not do this. My mom, this is not like her. Like, what is happening? Like, I'm getting like nervous, but it helped that I was running because like some of the tension was leaving my body at the same time. But I was like, yo, I'm instantly thinking like worst case scenario. Okay. So then I started, guys, don't laugh. But then I'm like, okay, let me not talk so much. Let me be quiet, because what if she's like yelling for me and I can't hear her? Guys, these are my honest thoughts. I promise you. I'm like, what if she's yelling for me and I can't hear her? So I'm like quiet and I'm like walking slow. I'm like, oh my God, where's my mom? Where's my mom? So I'm panicking a little bit because I'm like, my mom is a grown woman. People are crazy. I don't care. People are crazy and people will do foolishness and whatever. My mom is a petite person. So it's not strange. Like, she's short. So, and also if you're not aware of your surroundings, or if you're not like, focused on that, then you're just doing your thing. Your body's not braced or whatever. I'm freaking out. I'm running. At this point now, I arrived to, now there's a lot going on. Because remember, I have my training app on. So I don't know if I told you guys that, but I have my training app on. So it tells me like, oh, you have like 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes, blah, blah, blah. So my brother's talking to me. That thing's talking. A workout done, run complete. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yo, okay. Like, I'm just like freaking out. At the time I get to my street, I'm like, okay, my mom, whenever she comes home, like after we do a run or a walk, she always stretches like on the porch area. She doesn't go inside right away. I'm like, okay, you know what? She must be home. She has to be home, because like, what? Like, where did you go? Right? So I go to the end of my street, and I stood at the I guess the fork of the road, so I could see at all angles. Like, I was like literally in my zone. I'm like, I need to find this lady, because what is happening? I stand at the top of my street so I can see clearly the front of my house from where I am, and I can also see the main road this way, right? And so she's walking or whatever, I would see her. Okay, I stood there on purpose. Let me tell you guys, when I looked at my house and I did not see my mom stretching at the front of the house, I was done. It has been now 10 minutes. I got to the top of the street at 9:30 because I didn't come all the way home. I was circling and looking around for her. I got to top of my street at 9:30. It has been 10 minutes since I've seen my mom. The amount of thoughts that are racing through my mind, I just keep thinking about the man in the van. Like, I'm literally like freaking out. So I'm at the top of the street, okay, and I literally start having a panic attack. So I'm like, because I'm like, where is my mother? Okay, I on it, guys, if I can express to you the emotions and the fear and like oh my gosh, what I felt, I was like, this does not make sense. I'm like, I was running, she was walking. She's not at home because she's not on the porch. My mom takes her time on the porch, stretching all the time. I'm like, she should be there still. I said, this doesn't make sense. I'm freaking out, okay? Full blown. Can't breathe. I can't fly. Big old woman, okay? Me, big woman. Literally like cannot breathe, okay? This lady comes out of her house and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I can't find my mom. And I'm like freaking out, guys. You guys don't know. You guys don't know the feeling. I don't care if my mom is 80,000 years old, okay? When you can't find your mom for this length of time, in the climate that we're in, and she's literally this tall, listen. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, I can't find my mom, like freaking out, okay? Then her husband comes outside. What does she look like? And I'm like, she's this tall. I'm like, she has dreads, like all the way down her back. Like, what is she wearing? I'm like, she's wearing a gray top and green tights. And I don't remember the shoes. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to remember everything, right? And they're like, does she have a phone? And I'm like, she doesn't have her phone. Like, literally freaking out. Because I'm like, of course, this would be the case. The day my mom does something that is not in her norm, like leaving her phone behind or whatever. My mom is honestly typically the worst person with the phone. My mom will have a phone. My mom loves Instagram as well. So my mom will always be on her phone. If I'm calling her, she just like, can you answer it? So she's the worst to her phone, period. But then now she doesn't even have her phone. So now I'm freaking out. I'm like, yo, like, what is going on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So my brother's on the phone and trying to tell me to calm down. This guy's on his way to, like, he's at work. Like, poor guy, like at work, hearing his sister freak out on the phone and his mom is nowhere to be found. That's fun. Happy Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day was to you, because that's annoying. So he's like, okay, calm down. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call Chantel. So Chantel's my god sister, and she literally lives like a street behind mine. Like, I can walk to her house in a minute. Like, she lives right there. Okay. So I'm like, okay, she's at home. So I'm trying to think quick. I'm like, she's at home. My car key, I don't have my car key, I don't have my house key, nothing. I can't go in my house. I can't do anything. I have to basically stay outside. So I'm like, let me call her. She can come pick me up. We can drive around the neighborhood and try to find my mom, right? Something. I'm thinking now too, I'm like, yo, it has been 10 minutes. God forbid that man, you know, was the person or whatever who I'm thinking in my mind that to my mom or whatever. But they could be long gone. Like, they could be so far. So I'm freaking out. And I call her. I'm like, Pat, I can't. So I call her Pat. I'm like, Pat, I can't find my mom. And she's like, what? She's like, what's going on? What's going on? Poor thing. Hops out of her bed, not even brush her teeth. Poor thing. Bonnet on, okay? Zip, like bonnet. I forget about my bonnet on me. My head tie. Like, came to pick me up like this, guys. Like came like this, like pulled up, okay? So she comes to the house. She comes to another house, the corner of the street. The lady that was talking to outside, she's like, I'm gonna get in my car. I'm gonna go look for your mom, okay? Thank you. Her husband's like, I'm gonna stay here. So if I see her, I'll let her know, you know, that her daughter's looking for her. I'm like, thank you so much, or whatever. So I get in my god sister's car, okay? I am losing it. Because, guys, at this point, I called my god sister at 9:34. Keep in mind, I couldn't find my mom since 9:20 a.m. It has been 14 minutes. Anything can go through my mind at this point because it doesn't make sense. So we're driving now. We're driving through. She's like, you have to tell me where to go. I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know where she is. I can't find my mom. Oh God. Yeah. Right? Like, literally like that. And she's like, tell me where to turn and I will turn there. I'm like, go right. Hurry up. Go faster. Like, poor thing. What? So I'm telling her to turn and I'm going around like our regular path. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. We drive. The other lady is on the main roads, like going back and forth looking for my mom. Driving around now and we get back, no sight of my mom. We go around the whole neighborhood, guys. No sight. Like I said, not even a heel back. Not even the back of her hair flapping in, not a dread flapping in the wind. Nothing, okay? So she's like, I think she's at home. I'm like, no, she's not at home because she's gonna be at home because she stretches out the porch, so she's at home. Like, I'm literally like freaking out because I'm like, I was at the house or at the top of my street at 9:30. Where we were located, even if she was walking, she would have been home at the time I got there. I was there from 9:30 to 9:34. That means I would have, like, it just did not make sense, guys. So keep in mind, I don't have my keys. I only have my phone. She has her phone that has her music on it and the keys. So I cannot get in my house, nothing. So we get back to like my street and she's like, okay, I think she's at home. I think we should try going home. And you guys probably thinking, you're so stupid. Why not go home first? But the reason is because I'm running. Okay? So if she's walking, she would not have arrived home the exact same time I did. And even if she got home, I was there for 5 minutes or so, I would have seen her walk up there, right? And she doesn't go inside right away, like I mentioned. So then now my god sister's like, okay, I want you to go and see if she's home. The poor girl didn't even stop the car. I flung myself out of the car. Opened the door, okay? Car's still in full motion. She didn't even get to my driveway. I'm like running, kind of like my legs are wobbly. All the thoughts are going through my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what are we gonna do without my mom? What are we gonna do? Like, I'm literally like getting there. Like, I'm like, yo, I said, if this lady does not answer this door, I knew, guys, in that moment, if my mom did not answer the door, I would have fainted. I really think I would have, because I would not know where my mother was. Get to the door now. Ring the doorbell. My legs are spaghetti. Like, I can't, like, I'm like, oh gosh, please answer that door, please answer that door, blah, 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 blah. She opens the door. Shen. And like her mouth is just open because she knows I'm freaking out. I'm like, yeah, like literally screaming top of my lungs, bawling. Like, now I know how it feels when a parent like loses their child and you're happy but you're mad, because where did you go? What? Guys, I was so, it was like every emotion. Okay, I thought you were kidnapped. You're probably thinking, Shanice, you're so dramatic. Not quite, happens to people all the time. People are crazy. We're in a crazy world. The climate that week was very sketchy. Okay, it was just not a good time in the world. It was just not a good week. So I'm like, where were you? Like, literally screaming. And then she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I just got home. Guys, I got back to my house at about 9:43. I could not find my mom from 9:20 a.m. She tells me I just walked in the house. Her shoes weren't even off. So my mind is like, why? Like, I don't have the answers. I don't even understand, because our walk is half an hour. So why did it take you an extra like 15 minutes to get home? Like, did you stop? Did you take a different way? Like, what happened? I'm freaking. I'm like, where were you? Like, screaming. I dropped on the floor, like collapsed, because all of the emotions I couldn't stand. I was like, yo, like all my tears. I wasn't really crying the whole time. I was trying to find it. I wasn't crying. I was just like having a panic attack, but there was no tears, right? So I started just bawling like a baby on the floor. Someone took you away. Guys, this is so embarrassing. My mom's like, I'm sorry. She goes, I was just so anxious about my meeting that I decided to take the shortcut home. I took the shortcut home, and so I just got inside and I said, let me get the house phone to call you and tell you that I'm home. I was so, like, mad wasn't the word. She's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Why would you separate from me and not say a word? Huh? My mom said, I want to go home early. Boop, and just left me. That's literally what happened, guys. She literally said, you know what? And she said to me, she's like, I thought that you forgot that I had the meeting, and I was really just anxious about it. I wanted to make sure I was prepared for, you know, the meeting that I had, because it's important. And so I said, you know what? Let me just go this way instead. Take the shortcut that we usually take. I said, but mom, I ran down the shortcut. I said, it was about a minute. I was jogging about waiting for you. Maybe it was even 30 seconds. I ran back the shortcut way. I said, I did not see you. Like, where did you go? She said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Guys, I did not speak to my mom properly for probably about 2 weeks. Like, I would talk to her, but like, I was just like, yo, you literally left me on the road. And not even that, like, imagine that. Imagine you're running with somebody and you turn back and they're gone and you can't find them for 25 minutes. What? Like, I'm like, Mom, but why would you not just run up to me and do a little jog? I wasn't far, guys. I promise you, I was not far at all. Maybe like 6 houses down from where she was. Like, she turned the corner. Why would you not just jog up and say, hey, Shen, that's what my family and friends call me. Hey, Shen, you know what? Are we gonna make it back home in time? Can we somehow speed up or take a short? Can you let me know? Because you don't have your phone. So of all days, why would you separate yourself from me? Guys, I was so mad. And then I had to go online and teach the children. Like, good morning, boys and girls. After I was just bawling for 80,000 hours because I thought my mom was kidnapped. Like, I'm telling you, crazy story. But yeah, that's basically what happened. My mom did separate from me on the side of the road. Okay, I'm like, what if something happened to me? Because at first I'm like, what if something happens to you? Like, what if you hurt your ankle? So I ran back. I'm like, maybe she hurt her ankle or her foot or whatever. I wasn't even thinking that dark yet. But I'm like, yo, I don't see you at all. It's weird, right? The lady that I ran past was gone. Everyone was gone. I'm thinking about the man in the van, the guy that passed me. I'm like, yo, this is really sketch. Like, what is happening? Anyways, but guys, that is a story about how my mom basically left me abandoned on the road. Okay, so thank you for tuning. Hope you enjoyed this story time. Hope to be back soon. Love you guys. Oh yeah, and yes, my mom and I are fine now. But when we go for runs, I have slight PTSD, so I'm always like this, like looking back. I can't just like run straight, and she won't run with me, so I have to like, you know, look back every 2 seconds, make sure she's still there, right? Make sure she's right behind me because I'd freak out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.